How would you feel if told that the much-awaited completion of the Bus Rapid Transit BRT extension project from Mile 12 to Ikorodu is finally taking shape for use?
That will mean the people of Ikorodu and Lagosians at large will now have a more convenient way to travel and, of course, be happy, while new and existing businesses will thrive.
On the program today, our focus is on the new development that has changed the face of the BRT extension project from Mile 12 to Ikorodu.
A visit to the site by the management team of Lamata and concerned stakeholders readily captures the progress so far made on the project. I am Obafemi Craig.
I am Kate Harmony. First, we take the news updates.
Welcome to the news update on Lamata FR. The Lagos State government is committed to efficient, safe and sustainable transport system, befitting the status of Lagos as a mega city. Managing Director of Lagos Metropolitan Area Transport Authority, Lamata, Dr. Dayo Mobriola, made this assertion when he hosted a professor of new infrastructure development from Manchester Business School, the University of Manchester, Professor Nuno Gill, and a doctoral student, Rahima Msulwa. The study team was in Lagos as one of the 3 locations around the world for a study on new infrastructure schemes. The team is looking at the blue and red rail lines of the Lagos Urban Rail Network and the Bus Rapid Transit System. They are also looking at the $50 billion high-speed 2 train to connect London to Manchester and Leeds by 2032, and $16 billion dedicated freight corridor project to link up major Indian cities by 2018. Dr. Mobriola, who was represented by Lamata's Director of Corporate and Investment Planning, Mr. Olutayo Orekoya, explained that the commitment informed the adoption of a strategic transport master plan, which detailed Lagos transport infrastructure requirements up to 2032. He said Lamata was working on part of the infrastructure detailed in the plan, assuring that the BRT extension to Ikorodu and the Blue Rail Line construction were in course. Dr. Mobriola said Lagosians will begin to enjoy the services of the transport project very soon.
We have been able to achieve so much because of a major factor, which is the political will, political championship by the leadership of the state, represented by the immediate past governor of the state, and then, also carried on to the current administration.
In a presentation, Professor Nuno Gill informed that the study aimed to investigate how to create governance structures that encourage city planners and funders to collaborate and achieve shared goals and thus meet performance expectations. He said this was in recognition of the fact that planning and delivering new infrastructure schemes in democratic countries require coordinating the needs and interests of many independent actors, including national and local governments, private firms, funders, and local communities. And that's the news update.
Basically, what Lamata does is to coordinate public transportation in Lagos State, and we came up with a transport master plan.
Developed together with the World Bank, the objective of this plan is finding long-lasting solutions for the problem of transportation in Lagos. Currently under its first steps of development, the plan has already proven itself a big success, dramatically increasing the connectivity in a city in continuous expansion and enjoying an unparalleled demographic and economic growth.
Our responsibility is to ensure that we provide the necessary infrastructure to meet the growth, to improve the quality of life, to improve the standard of living, and to make Lagos a vibrant and livable city in years to come.
Lamata, think transport.
This week on Safety Tips, we want to discuss traffic signs and what they mean to us and why they are on the road. Can I ask how many of us really understands the value of the traffic signs that we have on the road. And what do they mean? Do some of us ignore it? Or we just look at it like, this sign, what is it doing there? Like we don't even understand the benefit? Do we even know that the traffic signs itself, that a universal language, that it doesn't matter whether you're in Lagos, whether you're in Kafanchan, whether you're in California, or whether you're in Beirut. Traffic signs are supposed to talk to us day in, day out, as long as we use the public roads. Now, what does the sign mean? The sign means a lot. It's a way of communicating to us. Why? Because it's not possible for LASMA to be on the road at all times. Neither is it possible for FRSC to be on the road. And certainly, I won't be on the road to come and control anything on the road. So what do we depend on? We depend on these traffic signs to guide us, to warn us, to direct us, to prevent us from doing things that we shouldn't do, or to allow us to do things that is okay for us to do. What are the type of signs that we have on the road? We have warning signs. The type of warning signs, generally speaking, are triangular in nature. Apart from one particular one, which is inverted, that is now the give way or the yield sign. When I say inverted, it means the opposite of the normal triangle. But generally speaking, all warning signs are triangular. And in terms of the color, you can either have a yellow background, a white background, and normally with a red border around the sign. What is the value of a warning sign? What it says, the warning, it's just telling me as a road user, telling me as a driver, that there is something in front of me where I'm going, that I should be careful, that I should anticipate, that I should plan myself. The type of warning signs that we have could be road construction work happening in front of you, could be rocks falling from the road, could be a bend, could be a T-junction, could just be anything that is different from where I'm coming from and where I'm at that particular moment. Generally speaking, a warning sign will give me some 25, 50 meters before I get to the point where that incident is happening. The second type of signs that we see on the road are secular in nature. They can also have white background, red borders, or could have blue background and white letterings on them. Now, the secular signs are the mandatory signs and also regulatory. What does mandatory mean in this case? It means someone is telling me that I shouldn't make a left turn. Someone is telling me I shouldn't do a right turn. Someone is telling me that the road ahead is only one way. Someone is telling me it is inappropriate for me to make a U-turn at a particular point. The same sign will say to me it is not okay for me to park at certain positions. And the same signs would also tell me that what I'm about to do can cause danger to other road users. And those regulatory or mandatory signs can get me or you in trouble if I violate it. It's like having a LASMA officer standing there and he's telling me to stop and I refuse to stop. That's all it means. But if I obey the signs, I don't need any human being to come and control exactly what I do. What's the third type of sign that we have? We have rectangular type of signs. Sometimes it can be green, it can be white, it can be all sorts of different colors, as long as the information on the rectangular sign is supposed to help me. Let's go through some of the examples of the rectangular signs that we have. If, for example, I'm looking for a hospital, a rectangular sign or information sign will tell me where the hospital is and how far I'm from the hospital. The same way I'm looking for a zoo. So, folks, let's be serious about the signs on the road. Let's take the habit of ignoring the signs because we feel it's not talking to us. Every single sign on the road is saying something. And the most important one that affects us in this country is the one about speed limit. People see figures on a round sign. They're wondering what the figure means. The figure there means it's the maximum speed limit. maximum speed limit. Let us bear that in mind. Every time you see a sign that talks about maximum speed limit, you check your car, you check the speed you're doing, and you adjust yourself accordingly. Why? Because if you're flouting that speed limit, you can get in trouble, or you can get other people in trouble because you're not obeying the traffic sign. And that is all we have for you today on traffic signs. I hope we have educated ourselves. I hope we're getting something from these safety tips. And I know, for now, we need to be safe.
The tremendous job done by the contractors to meet the delivery time of this project has been remarkable.
And this is in line with Lamata's promise to deliver the project to you in good time.
So let's join the inspection team who took a tour to the site. The Bus Rapid Transit BRT Extension Project from Mile 12 to Ikorodu is a project conceived as part of the state's Strategic Transport Master Plan to renew transport infrastructure and extend public transport services to Ikorodu, one of the 5 divisions of Lagos. Ikorodu is important in the socio-economic horizon of the state because it is a major route through which foodstuff and perishable goods come into Lagos. Almost 2 years into the construction of the infrastructure being implemented by the Lagos Metropolitan Area Transport Authority, Lamata, the project has recorded over 90% completion rate, and by the end of December 2014, it is expected that the project would have almost achieved 100% completion rate, barring any unforeseen challenges.
Lagos, my home. With Lamata, Lagos is changing for the best. BRT lanes, modern rail lines, pedestrian bridges, new roads, mega city, yeah. Lagos, my home. Lagos, my home. With Lamata, Lagos is changing for the best. For the best.
In terms of progress, where are we?
We're about 60% done.
The thing about here too is that there was lots of soil replacement challenges here. Yeah. Serious one here too.
During a visit to monitor the progress of work, the Managing Director of Lamata, Dr. Dayo Moberiola, expressed delight at the pace of work by the contractor.
From what I've seen, coming from looking at the bus shelter, looking at the depot, and looking at the runway itself, I think all the contractors have done very well. The concretes are well aligned. The depot is actually well constructed, considering the challenges that they've had. So everything seems to be going very well.
Dr. Moberiola drew a distinction between the BRT extension to Ikorodu and the existing Mile 12 to CMS BRT system.
Well, the difference here is that the BRT buses, instead of running on the sides, they will now be in the middle of the main carriageway. So there will be no conflict between the BRT buses and other bus users. So it makes the BRT to run effectively and efficiently, and that's why we have improved on it.
What would happen here is that between the band,
yes,
where it is a passing lane where you have to give way, I would advise that we now put chevron markings across it, so you know that there's a difference between this area and where else you're coming from. Okay. And then you give priority. So we can change the color. So the one coming from Ikorodu, if it's this side, can be white, and then the opposite one will be yellow. So with color, that can talk to the driver like, okay, I've come to an area where I have priority apart from the sign. So there's additional information visible on the carriageway.
The project director, engineer Olugbenga Dairo, who is also Lamata's Director of Public Transport, said the BRT extension project was one that took a lot of serious planning. He compared the BRT extension project with the South African Ray Via and Ahmedabad BRT in India.
Well, this will rate very highly. I will compare it first and foremost with the BRT project in South Africa, which has a similar physical infrastructural facilities compared to what we are doing here. It is also comparable to the BRT system that was built in Ahmedabad in India, and therefore it will rank as one of the top BRT schemes, classic BRT projects across the globe, in my opinion.
With the project inching towards completion, the managing director of Lamata, Dr. Dayo Mobiriola, appealed to commuters and residents along the corridor to continue to exercise patience and cooperation with the authority to deliver the project on schedule.
It is important to note that when you are building a road of this magnitude, we are going to disrupt people a bit. And that has actually been what has been happening. However, the benefit of it is long-lasting, is such that it will increase standard of living, it will reduce transport fare, it will reduce congestion, it will reduce environmental impact. So the benefit in itself outweigh the challenges, the problems the road users, the communities are going through at the moment. So I plead with them to continue to bear with us. They've been doing that very well. We are working very much with the LASPA, and will continue to work with them to ensure that we make 2 lanes on both sides available at all times. But even at that, we are pleading to all the road users and the people living around this area to please bear with us and let us finish this work on time and get out.
Some 400 buses are proposed for the operation of the BRT extension from Mile 12 to Ikorodu. It is projected that some of the buses would arrive the country early 2015 to begin a test run of the transport operations.
We will be combining this corridor with the existing one between Mile 12 and CMS, and together we expect that the operator will deploy up to 400 buses running between Ikorodu and CMS. In terms of passenger numbers, we anticipate that there will be about 300,000 passengers carried every day on this particular scheme. Well, every project has its challenges, but overall we will find that the pain we have had to endure has been well worth it. We will see a significant improvement in the transport accessibility, particularly for those who reside along this corridor and those who live in Ikorodu. They will find that the experiences of being situated in traffic jams lasting up to 2-3 hours will no longer be the case for those who choose to operate by public transport. Even for those who are driving their vehicles, we've made the road surface a lot better, the road condition is a lot better, and they will also enjoy smoother journeys along this particular road. So I think the pain has been well worth it.
The project manager, engineer Femi Fayombo, recounts his experience in managing the project and urged road users to bear with the state government as the project completion date draws near.
It's been a nice experience, I must say, because if you want to recall when we commenced this project about 2 years ago, and when one look at the corridor, all the challenges and the issues, you know, it was as if it was insurmountable. But thank God at this stage we are in now, 2 years down the line, we can see what's happening now. The benefits have, you know, outnumbered the issues we've had on the road. The road is almost formed. We are over 90% at this stage. Commissioning and completion is near the corner. The BRT lanes are formed. The additional lanes are formed. I'm sure the riding experience has changed. So we thank you, we appreciate you for believing in the government, for supporting the government in delivering these notable projects.
At the Oluwo Odiko market, Where market men and women from their Ayongbunre market are being relocated, Lamata is providing standard facilities to aid commerce and entrepreneurship of the people. One of the innovations being provided for the market is a creche for the children of market sellers.
This is the road. Those are the drain. That's the secondary drain. We have the primary drain of 600 mm around this side. The other one is 1.2. It's covered drain.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is these stalls, are they going to be covered?
Covered.
Everything?
Everything is going to be covered.
I understand that that there is a technical problem, and the problem was actually that they were supposed to use laterite to sandfill the land before actual construction. And when they got to site, and because of rain, if you use laterite, it will turn to mud and it will take a longer time. And therefore, because of the need to do and to complete the work on time, they needed to change the laterite to sand. And that is what took a bit of time. And now that we have given the approval for that, and they have used sand, they have actually progressed up to 60%. And we are sure that the remaining 40% will be completed within a very short period of time. So again, I just want to say that the market relocation is on course. The market sellers should bear with us. They understand what the problem is, and we are going to give them a better stalls, better environment, better place than what they have been used to in the past. There's going to be toilets, there's going to be car parks, and there's going to be creche for their children or people who are coming to the market. And that is a very good, conducive environment to attract people to come to the market. So we're really getting there.
Lagos, my home. With Lamata, Lagos is changing for the best. BRT lanes, modern rail lines, pedestrian bridges, new roads, mega city.
We don't see as work take the go for the BRT extension project from Malto to Ikorodu. We don't see the Lagos State government and Lamata, they know they carry last, then stand gidigba for ground to make sure say this work they go complete them and on time.
Gbogbo ọlá tí rí bí iṣẹ́ ṣe ń lọ sí lórí ètò ọkọ̀ ojú ọ̀nà mile 12 sí Ikorodu. Àdẹ̀rí pé ìjọba ìpínlẹ̀ Èkó àti ilé iṣẹ́ Lamata wọ́n ń gbìyànjú gidigidi láti rí pé iṣẹ́ yìí parí láìpẹ́.
What makes us effective at Lamata? It is the feedback we receive from you, because without it, we cannot serve you any better. So keep them coming. Your questions, your observations, and your comments on any of the following.
While Lamata on its part is doing all it can to ensure that the world-class transport system of our dream to achieve the megacity status for Lagos is realizable,
we on our part owe it a duty to contribute our quota to support and to sustain and maintain the realization of an efficient world-class transport system for Lagos State.
Lamata.
Think transport.
Lagos, my home. With Lamata, Lagos is changing for the best. BRT